This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey book friends, I'm your host Annie, and I'm the one going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me through this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy Nairn Kirkwood, Andre the Man in White, Chad Welsh, and Sean McGuire. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Christian Larson and John Dexter to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. We also want to acknowledge Nick Judge, who increased his pledge over at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. Thank you all so much for your generosity. We're really excited to have your support. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 6 and 7 of The Fires of Heaven.
Yeah, so chapter 6 we have Gateways, and chapter 7 we have A Departure.
Sure.
And I think this is probably the first time in a while that we've gotten like a whole lot of new information.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, like info dumps and story times. It's like kind of my favorite types of chapters.
Quite long.
Yeah.
But it was exciting too.
Yeah.
I'm okay
like
with
stuff
it.
happens.
It was good.
Yeah. More so the first chapter.
This is your typical around chapter 5 or 6 in every book. There's some sort of Shadowspawn attack.
Yes, and then they gotta go. We gotta go.
And then they gotta go.
And they gotta go.
And they up and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like things happen.
Although in Tyr it took them a little while to leave.
That's true. Yeah, a little bit longer because like stuff happened in Tyr.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Start us off.
Right. Okay. So, with this one, I thought it was appropriate to do something that kind of had to do with Rand, something about the Aiel, because we're getting ready to leave the Waste finally, and that's kind of exciting. So, I gotta hit you with some Kara Karn facts.
Okay.
Okay, so, there's a few roots to the title Kara Karn, or Chief of Chiefs, that we can actually pull from, but the most notable one I wanted to talk about is a nice reference to Genghis Khan.
Sure.
Yeah, so Rand is basically Genghis Khan, and I'll explain why. So
Rand, oh man, is a lot of people.
He is. There's a lot of like similarities for a lot of people. So
he's like Jesus, he's Luke Skywalker.
It's all the same.
He's Genghis
same guy.
Khan, all same guy.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're getting it.
Yeah.
So, a Khan, the Khan, is the historic title of Inner Asia, used sometimes to refer to a ruler or military leader, and it was the highest noble title even above like king. So, in the Mongol Empire, the use of Khan signified the ruler of a horde or a tribe, and the ruler of all the Mongols would be the Khagan or the Great Khan. So, the reason why that's important, the breakdown of the word Khagan, it's rendered as Khan of Khans. So, probably the most well-known, like, Khan of Khans was Genghis Khan, and that's where we can draw the Kara Karn, which is Rand al'Thor.
Chief of Chiefs.
Chief of Chiefs.
Okay.
Leader of Leader.
Yeah.
Okay. And then also, special shout out from our YouTube comments, and I'm probably going to pronounce the name wrong here, but Marisur, turns out that in the Swedish term for manly man or a man's man is Karlakarn, but the L is silent, so it actually sounds like Kara, and then when you put the definite article on, it's Kara Karn. So
Okay.
Rand is also a manly man.
Oh, he's
or a man's man.
He certainly thinks he is.
Yeah.
Lately.
Yeah. And that's also, I gotta throw it out there too, the whole like, the Khal Drogo of Game of Thrones. Khal is similar to Khan, leader of a horde, so it's all similar.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go, makes a little bit more sense, Kara Karn.
And I was wondering.
I know you were. A lot of people were.
I was so curious.
So let's get back to this Kara Karn stuff.
Yeah, okay. So, but before we get into chapter 6, I'm going to do a very, very quick recap.
Yeah.
About what's been going on, because
it's like
not
the
much.
same scene.
Yeah, so bunch of stuff's been happening in Ruidian. Matt is getting laid.
Yep.
Rand is being mothered by the maidens.
Yep.
Egwene is doing dreaming stuff.
Yeah, spy stuff.
Spying, well, she's trying.
Yes, yeah.
And Moiraine is doing a very bad job of getting anyone to see her side of things.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. We got stuff to talk about like everybody these chapters.
I know.
Like everybody gets a little plot point.
Everybody gets something.
Yeah.
All right, so chapter 6 is called Gateways, and the chapter symbol is the moon and stars, which is Lanfear, and she doesn't even show up till so late. I was
Or does she? Maybe she's one of the darkhounds. I don't know.
No,
Well,
but
okay.
it did have me thinking that she was part of this somehow.
Okay.
I kept on thinking, like, where's Lanfear?
Yeah. I get it.
When are we gonna get to Lanfear?
It's like a Keely in disguise again situation.
Yeah,
where...
except I'm still waiting for anyone to be like, hey, where's that bitch? And no one, even Egwene, is like thinking about Kadir and Asandre and the Gleeman, thinking about all the peddlers and the wagons this chapter, and she doesn't think, hey, where's that lady?
Well, maybe there could be like some Star Wars, these are not the droids you're looking for, force ability that Lanfear's pulling on everybody.
No.
Being like, oh, you never met Keely.
Actually, like compulsion.
Just a little bit.
On everybody?
Just like the important people who are going to question it.
Okay, I guess that's the only explanation I have so far. So
Well,
I'll take it.
Okay.
Until I think of something else.
Something better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into this, yeah.
So we're in Rand's perspective. He was asleep, dreaming of teaching Avienda how to swim.
Yeah, he was.
In the Waterwood back home.
That's nice.
And actually, that's an adorable...
It's like PG-13.
That's an adorable dream.
Bet they were
That's
smooching.
so fun.
Smooching in the
No,
Waterwood.
he's teaching her how to swim because she's like scared of the water. Because in every other dream we've seen, she's like standing on the bank and won't get in.
That's true, okay.
So...
He's coaxed her into the water.
Yeah. Okay, but he's woken up because he gets this sense, a smell, a feeling of wrongness.
Yeah.
Something evil.
So do you remember how he's doing this?
How he's doing this.
Yeah, how he's sensing this evil, this wrongness. This is a thing that he can do.
Well, I just thought it was like how Perrin could just sort of censor... Oh, Perrin smells. He has a smell ability.
He's a smelly ability.
Ah.
You had a nickname for that way back in the day, and I can't remember what it was. Because you didn't like the term sniffer.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like smeller? I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember that at all.
It was a long time ago.
Okay. Tell me how Rand's doing this.
Well, we don't...
Because I didn't think about it at all.
Okay, well, we can assume.
I just assumed he could sense it because he's, like, strong.
Well, we know that Aes Sedai, like Moiraine, can sense Shadowspawn.
Yeah.
And technically, I mean, Rand can also do the same stuff Moiraine can do.
Yes.
He's an Aes Sedai.
Yes.
So he can probably sense Shadowspawn.
Yeah.
It's not a complicated...
Is that it?
Yeah, it's not a complicated
because that's
answer.
what I had assumed.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to tell me something super profound, and I'd be like, oh.
No, I'm just highlighting his abilities that, it's important to know.
So he can do this
He can do this thing. This is a thing he can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rand gets out of his blankets, he embraces Saidin, and... he has, like, the little man Angrio, although he doesn't think he's gonna need it, since whoever sent this attack doesn't know who they're dealing with anymore.
Well, it's a pretty badass line. He's like, if they wanted to kill me, they shouldn't even let me wake up. Or,
okay, arrogant.
But I do have to point out that, like, basically every time we see Rand channel now...
he's leveling up.
He's reaching for the little fat man Angrio. Like, every time it's like, hand in the pocket, hand in the pocket.
So Rand is concerned about going down to meet this evil down where the maidens are and putting everyone in danger. We do get a little bit later that he assumes it's going to be like a fade or something like that. Like, it's obviously not a horde of Trollocs disrupting everything. We've already gotten like a Drakkar sort of attack.
There's no alarms going off, no like big battle outside. It's just like...
Right. And so he assumes maybe a single fade or whatever.
Like sneaky silent attack.
Yeah. And so he doesn't want to put everyone in danger, so he decides to choose his own ground for this fight. And this is something that Lan has taught him.
Yeah.
So he really is leveling up. Like, he's way less impulsive.
A little bit. And, okay, so yes.
Because I see him thinking through.
Yes.
And he's not just like, oh my god, rushing out, grabbing his, like, real sword. You know, like,
fight on the staircase, go down.
Run out. Oh my god, wake everybody up and fight because I'm scared.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually...
So good for Rand for that.
Yeah. So he runs to the top floor and then plants himself in the middle of this, like, large empty floor, and he actually stands on the Aes Sedai symbol.
Yeah. Can I? Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So just because we're on the whole topic of Star Wars in my own brain right now.
Okay.
So Rand is also Darth Vader. Because of how dramatic he is. So we know that Darth Vader is like the most dramatic person ever.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Just like how he does things. Standing on top of like, TIE fighters and flying with the Force and then like, all Darth Vader is dramatic.
Okay.
Rand is also equally dramatic.
Yeah.
Because even while he's like preparing for this
like,
battle,
perfect.
He's like, ooh, I'll stand in the middle on this ice, and one foot will be in the white part, and one foot will be in the black part. And it's so good.
Perfect for this light versus dark
fight. This is like the fight that I'm in right. It's like so dramatic, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it, yeah.
Okay.
And it gets worse.
Okay. Well, the evil is getting closer and stronger, and it has like this burned sulfur smell, and then 3 black dogs, like as big as horses.
Ponies.
Little horses.
Yep.
Come into view, and Rand summons his fire sword and gets ready to fight.
Okay, and this is the dumb part. It's like, don't fight gigantic horses, or horses the size of ponies. Horse dogs, pony dogs.
Yeah.
With a sword. Do something better.
That's true.
There's better ways to do this than sword fighting.
Realistically, if this is all that they were, like that, what he chose as his weapon is fine.
I guess so. It's like, it always feels like you're putting yourself in way more danger by choosing sword fighting over like fireball.
Because, okay.
But anyways,
fair. Okay. So the dogs attack.
Yeah.
Rand chops all their heads off.
Yeah.
And it's over.
Yeah.
And he feels like this contempt for this little pitiful attack, and
they don't know who they're dealing with now.
Yeah. Give me something hard to fight. Ooh, I'm so good now.
And like fair, he chopped up 3 dogs real fast.
Yeah, real fast.
Yeah.
And then the dogs start to melt into these pools of liquid, and then they start flowing together to reform into the 3 dogs again. And I, for one moment, thought that they were reforming into one dog.
One bigger dog.
With 3 heads.
Oh my god. You're not even going to.
But it's not. It wasn't that.
It wasn't that. Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't technically say it, so... Does that count?
That can count.
Okay.
I don't have any other reference.
Okay, let's do that. Because
in my mind, while I was reading, that's what I thought was happening.
That's so funny. It kind of reads it. You're like, oh man, because that's the image of like, something that melts down and then it's kind of like Terminator almost.
Sure.
Like pools together, and then reforms itself. But
yeah, I thought all 3 dogs were reforming into one bigger super dog.
3-headed dog.
3 heads, and I was gonna be like, oh my god, this is so perfect. This is fluffy. Like, I just,
it was not fluffy.
It's not. In fact, they're just the 3 dogs again. So we can have a shot.
Yeah.
Why
okay.
not? Okay, so that's a Harry Potter reference in case anybody missed that.
Yeah.
The 3-headed dog from the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, cheers to Fluffy, the 3-headed dog, which is not this one.
Which is not this one.
No.
It's a little bit of a fake out shot.
Yeah, a little
bit.
But
that's okay. Cheers.
So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But we have a lot to talk about this chapter because of the darkhounds.
I know. Okay.
Whole bunch of stuff.
Oh my god, so much stuff. Okay, so they're flowing together, reforming into 3 dogs. Ron's like, I don't know why I'm so surprised by this happening.
They're Shadowspawn dogs.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this time, Rand takes your advice.
Yeah.
He doesn't go for the sword. And instead of just doing like a regular fireball or something, he goes for Balefire.
Balefire. Love it.
Destroys literally everything. Half the place and the dogs themselves just like dissolve into nothing.
Yes.
And that's not the first time we've seen that, because Moiraine used Balefire on Balal.
Yes.
And dissolved him into nothing.
And she also used Balefire on darkhounds.
On darkhounds.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I have 2 important points that we got to kind of link this back to before we move forward.
Is it how Nynaeve also used Balefire on some Fates?
No, but she did do that, and good for her.
Yeah, but there's way more implications now.
Also, Balefire fire hose.
Also Balefire fire hose.
Okay.
Shit,
so
right.
But 2 actually important things that we got to talk about. Number 1, we've seen Perrin during that whole Moiraine Balefire attack. He took down a darkhound with arrows.
Oh, yeah?
And he killed it.
Okay.
Rand here has chopped off 3 darkhounds' heads and they reformed.
Okay.
Are we seeing 2 different types of darkhounds here? One that can be killed with like regular style weapons and then like an upgraded version? Or is there something else weird going on?
There might be something weird going on. That's what I'm always inclined to say. Like, I'm always like, nah, something fishy's happening.
Something weird is going
here.
on. Colin, what did Moiraine say?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah. But maybe...
Yeah, we know there's like a lot of weird urban legends about darkhounds and how they work. And
right.
Because it was like raining that last time, so... apparently rain has something to do with like keeping them away from the hunt.
Right.
So I just want to, throw that out there just a little bit. But we also got to talk about how Rand thinks about how this is not the first time that he's done this. Balefire.
Right.
So I have to read you a passage from The Dragon Reborn.
Okay, is it him using fire to kill dogs?
Okay, I'm going to read you the description.
Okay.
Because this has been a hotly contested item for a while.
Oh yeah, the murdering of dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rand huddled under the trees in the night, watching the heavy-shouldered black dog come nearer his hiding place. The moon gave barely enough light for him to make out the dog waist-high with its thick neck and massive head and its teeth that seemed to shine like wet silver in the night. It sniffed the air and trotted toward him. Closer, he thought. Come closer. No warning for your master this time. Closer. That's it. The dog was only 10 paces away now, a deep growl rumbling in its chest as it suddenly bounded forward, straight at Rand. The power filled him. Something leaped from his outstretched hands. He was not sure what it was. A bar of white light, solid as steel, liquid fire.
Right.
And then it basically evaporates the exact same way.
Okay.
There had been other dogs this night.
Right. ...
Right. So the whole question was that a regular dog,
or is he just like
killing farmers' dogs?
I think he started out. I think he legit killed some farmers' dogs.
But that one was
not
very likely,
because the fact that he's like, oh, you don't have a master tonight, like as in like a farmer. I think because he thinks they're just dogs. He thinks it's a dog.
Yeah, he doesn't know what it is at this point.
This one's a Shadowhound. I do stand
Darkhound.
by. What did I say?
Shadowhound. I mean, they could be Shadowhounds.
I don't even know what I'm saying
Darkhounds.
Okay, interesting.
But
anyway,
he thinks back about he's done this before.
Okay, so he's also destroyed like half the place.
Yeah,
and the roof is just like crumbling, caving in, and Moiraine is here.
Yes,
because obviously she sensed the evil,
same.
She had to like run here from the Wise One's tents. Is that where she's staying? We assume. Okay.
Yeah.
So she asked Rand if any of them bit him or bled on him, and Rand's like, hey, how'd you get in here? The maidens aren't supposed to let you in.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't even know what they are right now, so he's just like, whatever.
Yeah, and then Moiraine actually answers and is like,
yeah.
They grant me some privileges like a wise one, so get out of here. And then she's like, but seriously, did you get bitten or did they bleed on you?
Yeah, this is important.
Yeah. And then Moiraine calling these darkhounds sparks some memories of childhood stories for Rand.
Yeah.
Such as, oh, the darkhounds run with the dark one in the night.
Yeah,
and then he's like, oh, does this mean the dark one's free now?
Yeah. So it's kind of like a funny thing because Rand's also thinking like, oh, you know what? There's a whole lot of stuff out there that I've seen that is actually real. So maybe those old stories are true too. But it's always also hard to remember that Rand wasn't a part of that original Darkhound story time we got.
Nope.
He wasn't there for it, so he doesn't really know what they are or how they work.
Right. And this is where Moiraine is like, okay, well, here's some information on Darkhounds.
By the way,
bites are lethal, their blood and saliva is poison, and a drop can kill.
And most importantly,
the packs are usually larger.
Yep.
As many as 10 to 12. And Rand is like, oh no, I'm not the only target for an attack here.
Yeah.
So, Moiraine tries to tell Rand that they must speak of what Rand used to kill them.
Which is the Balefire.
Right.
It all comes full circle later.
This is where I was like, oh my god, this is going to be another instance of Rand ignoring Moiraine not doing a good job of communicating what she like legit needs to communicate with Rand.
Yeah.
And he just takes off running and ignores her.
He does. And I want to hear your opinions on how Moiraine has acted at the end of these chapters. Yeah. Let's come back to Moiraine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, he goes down the stairs, through the sleeping maidens, out the door. Lan is there and yells at him, where's Moiraine? And Rand just keeps on running till he reaches the building that he's looking for at the edge of Ruidian.
Yes.
It's Matt's place.
Yeah. And it's like kind of when you first
sense.
Imagine like who are the other targets. It could be Matt. It could be like Egwene.
Yeah.
Right? There's people, so.
Yeah.
But it's funny to note that Matt picked a place that's really far away from the plaza where Rand is, and also really far away from the Moiraine and Wise One camp. So it's like at the furthest point of anybody, so.
Fair, okay. So Rand sees 3 more darkhounds up on their hind legs, clawing and chewing their way through a big bronze door, and then he like balefires them to death.
Yeah.
And then he thinks, I'm gonna have to refine this weapon.
Yeah, it's like it's a pretty good weapon because it just like evaporates your bad guy enemies.
Yeah.
So like, hey, And he actually does it a little bit smarter on this one because he circles around so he hits him from the side so the Balefire doesn't go like through the door too.
Yeah.
And probably killing Matt. So smart.
Yeah, but he's like, oh yes, I'm going to have to work on my control of this weapon.
Absolutely.
And Moiraine's like, I got to teach you about this weapon.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously this is Matt's place. Rand calls to him. Matt opens the door, and he's...
naked! Yeah, okay.
Except for the fox head symbol.
Yeah, he does.
And also, Melindra's in there.
Yeah, she is.
She's just, like, casually wrapping a blanket around herself.
Yeah, well, you know.
And then Rand tells Matt what is going on. Even though Matt's like, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to be your friend anymore.
Yeah.
There's too much excitement for one lifetime being your friend.
Oh, man. So just to put the whole debate to rest, says Matt finally,
100%.
Dotted the I's and crossed the T's.
Oh, yeah. He was getting up to get a glass of wine.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Just making, that's like a...
That is post-coitus, if you are wondering.
Mid-session refreshment.
Yeah.
Okay. I just got to make sure we're on the same page here.
Oh, yeah. We were on the same page last time.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Okay. So Matt's like, I think my mind is playing tricks on me because I swear that one of the darkhounds chewed a hole right through that door. And then he's also scratching a red spot on his arm.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, and we also get that Melindra's spear didn't even phase it.
Yes.
So that's definitely, like, leveled up. Like,
leveled up darkhounds? Is that a thing? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because Perrin dropped it with arrows.
Yeah.
So it's like things to think about. It's like, what are these exactly? What's going on?
Okay.
So, and also with this whole Balefire thing, because we are going to have to kind of circle back a little bit.
You know what I can't stand?
What? Balefire?
Yeah.
Okay. It makes a lot of sense once we explain
like medium sense. This is the whole portal stone thing for me all over again.
Okay.
This is like we're diving a little bit too far into some sci-fi.
Okay.
Crap.
Okay.
I don't know. For me, I just can't wrap my head around it, so I don't love it.
Okay, I'm going to connect a few dots.
Yeah.
I can. I'll connect a few dots after we finish it, once we get the description of what Balefire is. Let's get there, and then we'll circle back.
Okay. So, this is where Moiraine and Lan arrive at the scene, and I think, holy slow runners. And, like, so much has happened already. They, like, literally were leaving at the same time as Rand.
Well, Moiraine was, like, upstairs,
Yeah, but so was Rand.
Rand has longer legs.
I know. Rand
Maureen's short.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying.
But she can be fast.
Yeah, short legs.
I saw her run into Ruidian.
Rand's got long legs.
Okay. Anyway, not the point, because
they're
trailed by a whole bunch of maidens also.
Yeah.
Rand asks, what's wrong with your arm, Matt? And he says, oh, another trick of my mind. The darkhound chewed through the door. I thought it slobbered all over my arm, too.
Yeah. But now his arm is burning and itching, and it's not good.
Itch all over, yeah, and Moiraine busts past Rand to get to Matt, grabs his head, attempts to heal him, but Matt just gives a little shiver and lifts up his silver fox head medallion and says, oh, this thing is colder than ice all of a sudden. And Moiraine just stares at him, stares at it.
Yeah, deadpan stare, no idea what's going on.
Maybe you should take it off if it's cold. So Matt takes it off, and Moiraine heals him because the itch has spread across his entire arm.
Yeah.
So now she's able to heal him with the medallion off.
And it's all good. So let's discuss this before we get into anything else. This medallion is doing something.
Well,
what's it doing?
What was the wish?
Okay, so I wrote down the 3 wishes.
Yeah, okay.
And by 3 wishes, just the sentences that he said.
That he yelled out while he was literally fighting and kicking.
Okay, so the first one was, if I had my way, I would want those holes filled.
Yeah, okay.
Talking about his memories.
Yes.
So he got the holes filled. Wish number 2 was, I want a way to be free of Aes Sedai and the power.
Okay. Okay.
So, and then wish number 3 is, I want to be away from you and back to Ruidian.
Okay, and that was the hanging.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, wish number 2, I want a way to be free of Aes Sedai and the power.
Right.
You kind of got that.
Yeah, because I thought it was, they're just going to kill him. And they're like, there, now you're free of them. Okay. Because you're dead.
Okay. Well, and again, coming back to what Rand observes and what Moiraine sees, it seems like Moiraine can't affect Matt.
While he's wearing it. Yeah.
That's pretty cool medallion.
That's a sweet medallion. He doesn't even know why he won't take it off, but he knows he shouldn't take it off.
He paid a price for it. He's going to keep it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Because the spear was what he was hanging from the tree. It was between 2 branches then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And he was wearing that. He was like, here you go. This will stop you from
There you go.
being
Done.
affected by the power.
You're
but
free of them.
You're dead.
Funny prank.
Funny prank.
Prank. Okay.
Prank. Okay. Guten Pranken.
Guten prank. Okay.
So now Moiraine is trying not to stare at the medallion that Matt has.
Yeah.
And absently tells him, the typical after healing stuff, take it easy, stay in bed. And then Melindra assures Moiraine that she will make sure he stays in bed.
I gotta love this too, because then all the maidens are like peeking through and they like see her
like,
and they're like,
ooh, make him sing the song of the spear or something.
teach him how to sing. Well, it's, so the men don't sing unless they're like in battle or laments for the dead. So it's like the only other time that he would sing is,
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it.
You get it.
We get it.
Okay.
Okay. So Moiraine wants to talk to Rand alone, and the maidens are like getting dismissed. But while they're taunting Matt, Rand says, "Let the man get some rest. Don't you have some clothes to put on?"
Yeah.
Some of them are like still in their shifts and whatever.
They don't care about it.
And then Moiraine is like, "Hey, can you leave?" And then they leave.
Yeah.
And so Rand doesn't seem to like the fact that the maidens aren't really following his orders very well.
Yeah.
But he needs to give better orders.
He does, because he doesn't actually tell them to do what he thinks that he told them to do.
No. He's like, "Oh, if you don't listen here, how can I trust you in battle?" And one of them is like, "What? You didn't even tell us to leave."
Also, this isn't battle.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, so they're clearly very literal.
Oh, yeah. And we get the whole, like, Karakharn isn't a king situation, so...
Right, which Rand is apparently getting sick of hearing. So Moiraine makes another attempt to talk to Rand about something, and Rand cuts her off, saying, "We'll speak tomorrow."
Yeah, and this is, again, her trying to talk about Balefire.
Yes, but this pisses Lan off.
Yeah.
Lan's like, "Fuck you, who do you think you are?"
It's interesting,
show her some respect.
Well, it's kind of like this weird thing going on because Lan is training with Rand like literally every day. Yeah. So there's like that relationship, but there's also the relationship of Lan and Moiraine, and Rand's kind of being a dink.
You don't talk to your mother that way.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And then Rand says, "Well, I will not help you get that fox head medallion away from Matt."
Yeah, which is not necessary. I mean, it kind of is what she wants too, but not primary
But it's like,
goal.
way to just like completely assume what she wants to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Like, how about have a conversation with her and actually find out what she wants instead of assuming that you know?
Fair, but her response doesn't actually help that situation.
No.
Because she's like, well, it belongs in the tower,
That's
but...
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But, like, she totally wants it.
Because at this point, Moiraine says, "Please, Rand." And she has this, like, open pleading in her voice, and this goes over very poorly with Lan.
Yeah.
Who calls out Rand for his behavior.
Well, we haven't seen Moiraine like this before, really.
No, but it stops Rand from leaving.
It does. It
and
works.
I thought, great.
Yeah.
Good. This is how you get Rand's attention. You don't tell him what to do. You don't yell at him. You don't tell him everything he's doing is terrible. You be humble. And you let him know that he's in charge while you are still secretly in charge.
Yeah.
That's how you manipulate people, Moiraine.
But that's the thing. It's like, do you want to be, like, do you want him to do what you want, or do you want to be, like, right?
Yes.
It's like, you want to get him to do what you want him to do.
Yeah.
However that is going to happen.
Yeah. And so he thinks about how there's one more person to check on, but it'll be too late to save them anyway.
Yeah, so it's basically just going to go see, like, whatever the darkhounds were going to do, it's already done by this point.
Right. I didn't know at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, he might still get... Did you know where he was going? Like,
Well, no, I don't know. I thought maybe Egwene.
Okay.
Like, maybe.
Yeah.
Especially because she's meddling around in dreams.
Yes,
and I still, at this point, wasn't sure that Lanfear didn't do this.
Fair, because it is a Lanfear chapter.
It's the Lanfear chapter title, and I have yet to see her, and we're already, like, so far into the chapter. And anyway, so I thought maybe she wants to, like, get rid of Egwene somehow, and she knew that Rand would beat them. Like,
it's like testing his abilities. She's totally about testing his abilities.
Yeah, and, like, proving to the other Forsaken that she's not, like,
like, see, I said darkhounds against him, he just killed them.
Yeah, like, I could...
And we can still talk about that. We can still talk about that when we
get there. Yeah, because I wasn't for sure that this wasn't Lanfear.
Well, you still shouldn't be for sure that this wasn't Lanfear still.
I am.
Okay.
I know this isn't this isn't her style.
Right. Okay.
That's why it was kind of weird. But anyway, so Moiraine doubles down that she will not be beside Rand forever.
Yeah, like her time isn't infinite here.
She could easily die, and she just wants to help him. She's devoted her life to that, and then she apologizes to Rand And when Rand says, it's just hard to trust you, and she says, do you want an oath for me not to manipulate you?
Yeah, this is big.
And then she gives it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, this is literally what he said he wanted back in Cold Rock's Hold.
But Moiraine wanted to manipulate him.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I know that. I know. But this is what I said was going to happen. Do you remember? Because I was like, we're out in the open. That was actually from Matt's perspective that we saw that conversation go down. So it's like, there's people watching.
Maybe she'll do it in private.
Yeah.
It's like a long time coming, but she's kind of like bent her knee a little bit to him, so.
Yes. And so this is what I needed to see from Moiraine, because I was worried she was just going to break.
Okay, so do you like this plan then?
Yes.
Okay.
So she swears to obey, like one of the maidens or even a Guy Shine, and then she humbly asks Rand to allow him to help her.
Yeah.
And I wrote in my notes, she read the book.
She did it. She read the book you suggested.
She read it. She
All
took my suggestion from last time. She listened to our podcast.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what, Danny? You're right. It's much better for me to just bend a little than just like be so solid, so stubborn, and then break.
And even saying she's going to swear and obey like one of the maidens, so much room for interpretation. Like, just go with that one.
I know. She could say a lot of things here. And I mean, even just, hey, can I please help you? Will you let me help you?
Yeah.
Is so much better than, hey, you suck. You need my help because you suck so much.
You're the worst. It's called negative reinforcement.
No.
And it works.
Oh my God, no.
It's the best.
No.
Especially on children.
Oh my God. Okay. So Rand accepts Moiraine's help, and he apologizes to her too.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fresh start here.
Yeah, and then we get story time with Moiraine on what Balefire is.
Yeah, can I do this one?
Of course.
Been waiting for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gotten the introduction to Balefire. We've seen it in action. It's like super dangerous, super powerful, but now we get like more specifics, and it's so important. Okay, so since before the breaking of the world, the use of Balefire has been forbidden, and the White Tower forbids Aes Sedai from even learning what it is. And we got to see Moiraine go on her little quest to learn it.
And she clearly did.
She
learned lots about it.
She learned it, and was much more powerful since the last time we'd seen her. Then, in the War of Power, so that was like during the breaking, like right before, the Forsaken only used it reluctantly. And then Rand, at this point, calls her out for like, hey, you've used Balefire before. Like, I've seen you because you used it on Bilal.
Yes.
And then she probably also thinks like, well, I've used it more than that, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, and she's like, well, sometimes there's a use for doing something forbidden.
Sometimes you got to do it.
And he's like, yeah, me too.
yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we get that when something is destroyed with Balefire, it ceases to exist before the moment of destruction. And it's a really good analogy where she says it's like a thread that burns back from where the flame touched it. So if you burn a thread, it's going to burn in both directions a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
So the greater the power of the weave, the further back in time that it ceases to exist. So Moiraine is relatively weak compared to Rand, so she can
Rand
only burn...
is so powerful.
Yeah,
like,
she can burn a few seconds.
Who knows what he can do?
We don't know what Rand can do right now. But the dangers with this are also huge. So we got to kind of bring a few things back, because she talks about, hey, Matt remembered seeing the darkhounds chew through the door and then slobber on him. But since Rand burned back the thread of time, essentially...
By
balefiring the thing that did the action... Now that action didn't happen, but the memory remains. So Matt remembers the Darkhound chewing through the door, but in reality that did not happen. But since he got slobbered on, that means that the slobber was there and started to spread, but since Rand burned back time a little bit, it's like he didn't actually get that, but there was some remnants of the Darkhound saliva.
Right.
So the little remnant was what was spreading up his arm.
Right, and she said, if you hadn't have done that, then I wouldn't have been here in time. Matt would already be dead.
Yeah.
Basically. And Ron's like, well, then it's a good thing.
Yes, and exactly.
Moiraine's like, you're not really listening.
You're not listening.
You're not really grasping the
I'm
severity.
only hearing positives here, so.
Yeah.
Okay. But another thing to kind of reference this. So after Rand, Balefire, the Darkhounds, we know that Darkhounds leave the footprints in the stone.
Yeah.
We know that's a thing.
Which, like, is a really bad trait.
It's not great. Well, they don't live in regular ground, so it's like, here, they're there. But the important part is that when Rand Balefired them, afterward he noted that there were paw prints on the floor stones, but surprisingly few. So the reason there weren't a lot was because after he Balefired them, the darkhounds weren't technically there, so they wouldn't have left the impressions on the stone.
Yeah, see, this is the stuff I don't like.
It burns back time as if it didn't happen.
I know, I don't like time travel.
This is why it's dangerous, because you don't want to burn back time. And events don't happen.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me. Time travel business. I can't wrap my head around it.
So here's a good way to remember it, because this is actually something that I talked about on Watch Spoilers, and I can bring you into this conversation because you're far enough along.
Oh, fun.
So, hypothetically, and this is something I was talking about with Seth and Radia, was when Couladin did his, I'm the dragon, or not the dragon, sorry, he showed the dragon and said, I'm Kara Karn.
Yes.
And he raised his arms, and then Rand went up afterwards. I said, one thing that Rand could have done was Balefired
Asmodean.
Couladin.
Oh, Couladin.
Balefire Couladin so that he didn't actually do that. Because it burns back time. So it's like, if Couladin goes and does it, you burn back Couladin.
Oh, yeah.
Tears him away. However, the people who viewed it would remember the event, even though technically it didn't happen.
They'd remember it like it was a dream or something,
exactly.
Right?
It'd be like a weird memory of kind of like Matt.
Deja vu.
I could have sworn that this happened, but I guess it didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, because now there's no hole in the door, so...
Right? So kind of like a funny hypothetical situation.
He should have done that.
Time travel's dangerous, people. Be careful.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what we're done with.
Do whatever the hell you want, Rand.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
you're gonna do whatever you want anyway. Can he Balefire somebody so much that all of time ceases to exist back to before the war happened?
Okay, hypothetically, maybe, but you'd have to be. I don't think you could channel that. So we're talking Moiraine's talking seconds.
Yeah.
So it's how strong would you have to be for an hour
Rand
or
is
a day?
Way more strong, and then plus now he's got
3,000 years.
He's got those Academy Awards.
He does, but still, we're talking how uber powerful.
Uber. That's the new way. We're just gonna erase the last 3,000 years back to before.
We're gonna need some bigger statues.
So no, that's not a solution.
I just you saying that gave me totally never ending story vibes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, but
okay.
We don't have time for that.
No, we literally have zero time to get into that.
Anyways, but that's the thing about the whole Balefire. It can
and Moiraine says probably don't use it again, and Rand's like, I can't promise to not use it again.
Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't expect you to. But just, be careful, okay?
Well, she also, plants that seed of, hey, and by the way, with Kalendor, you could probably wipe out an entire city.
Right.
But, don't tell him that. Why would you say that?
I started thinking about how far back can we go? What can we wipe out?
But again, it's what are we talking about, in terms of time frame
going back?
What
if we wipe out Lanfear? She's the one who did the whole boar in the first place.
Well, it was, not just her, so there's that issue.
Shoot.
She was working.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We got reference to 2 names.
I'm gonna drop this theory now.
You think on it. Okay. So, but anyways, it can mess up the pattern real bad.
Disrupt the whole world.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's time for Rand to leave now. So he gathers the power, makes a hole in the air, opening to blackness, and we get that this is a gateway.
Yeah.
And Moiraine is like, oh shit, what's that?
Yeah.
Because
that looks cool.
Because this is obviously what he stepped through to get to back where he was.
Yeah, back and forth, there and back, yeah.
No, but Moiraine was there when he came back with Natil.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And so Moiraine, obviously was, eyeing this, but now she's in a position where she can ask him questions because he's not, all angry with her trying to manipulate him.
Yeah. No,
right?
the gateway, and it's kind of funny, but
I want Rand to teach Moiraine how to do this.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Why?
Men and women can't teach each other how to do things. We've gotten that many times before.
Yeah, but he could explain to her how he does it.
That's not how this works.
And then she could,
That's not how any of
figure
this
it out.
works. That's not how it works.
Lanfear can do it. It's obviously...
Lanfear can't teach Rand how to do it. That's not how that works.
Fine.
We're going back to square one here.
I don't know. Whatever. It's all the same.
It's the whole birds and the fish and the bees. They can't teach each other.
I still don't buy it.
Okay. I know you don't.
Okay. But Moiraine's gonna like see that happened, and now she's gonna be like, I want to learn how to do that. That's
that
more
I can
likely.
see. That I can see happening.
Yeah. Okay. So before Rand goes, he decides to test the oath that Moiraine just gave.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You leave Matt alone. Don't even try to take that medallion away from him." And she's like, "It belongs in the tower."
Yeah. She still has that like inside of her.
And he's like, "Don't." And she's like, "Fine." So Rand leaves. He steps through the doorway onto a disc, and then we get some information.
Yeah, I get to do this again, right?
Yeah, yes,
okay, awesome.
yeah.
Well, okay, and this is where we kind of get the information
on gateways.
Yeah, because apparently there's basically two types of traveling through gateways that are described here. And another reference to why Rand is super Darth Vader, because he's so dramatic. I love it.
Oh, because he steps onto this disc, the Aes Sedai symbol?
Yeah, he makes like a 6-foot replica of the Aes Sedai symbol to skim along and travel on.
Yeah, and this is where there used to be stairs, but now Rand knows
Figured out the disc thing because Asmodean.
Right.
So, the first way to travel is called skimming, and that's what Rand is doing right now, and that's what we saw at the end of the Shadow Rising, where you open the gateway, you're in the blackness, and you travel along the disc that you create, and it's very fast over short distances, a little bit longer over longer distances. That's skimming. And I just have to point out that he thinks about how if he fell off the disc into the blackness, he would fall forever, which is the same line of thought about the ways.
The ways.
If you fall off into the blackness, you'd fall forever.
Which makes sense because the men created the ways,
yes.
probably based on
this type of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities. And then the other, faster way of traveling
is called traveling.
And
I thought this was traveling, but I was wrong.
This is skimming. Faster ways, capital T traveling. And this is the word that we saw used at the prologue of I the World.
With Lews Therin and...
Yeah. It's like, and then we get to see, probably we can see and infer that that's what Lanfear does at the end. That's what all the Forsaken are doing.
Oh.
They're opening up the gateways into a place and stepping through.
Because Rand's is blackness, and he has to, like, travel a little bit. Travel's a bad word. He has to...
Go through the gateway and skim.
Go through the gateway and skim for a little while.
Yeah.
And then get to where he wants to go.
Exactly.
But they're just like, here's a gateway and step through to where I want to be.
Yes, and the reason why, because Asmodean kind of gives that, is that traveling, capital T, you have to know your starting point very well. Which is kind of opposite.
It confuses Rand so much he can't figure it out. Doesn't make sense.
But it's like, you got to know where you are. So hypothetically, we could travel from our home because we know our home really well.
Okay.
But if I go to a corner street that I don't know, I couldn't travel from there because I don't know the place very well.
Which confuses Rand.
Yes.
Because Rand's like, don't I want to know
where I'm going? But it's like, no, you got to know the starting point.
Okay. And so that's why these gateways with the skimming make sense for Rand because he needs to know where he is going.
Yes.
Same with portal stones. You need to know where you're going.
You're getting it.
I'm getting it.
So there's the two different ways, and we've seen both now. So here we go. So
Rand arrives at Asmodean's room.
Yes.
But outside of it, right? So he does some good old-fashioned tracking.
Yeah.
And he finds about 3 to 4 darkhounds were here. And Rand speculates on whether his door trap stopped them.
Yeah, complete cube or whatever. It was an enclosed space. It wasn't just the door.
Yeah, right, whatever. So whether that stopped them or if they were just sent here to observe and report back.
Yeah.
And so Rand smooths out the stones because they're legit like paw prints in the stone.
Like big dog paw prints, yeah.
Back to where like all the other paw prints were so that nobody knows that they came here because why would Shadowhounds suspect a
Darkhounds.
What do I keep calling them?
Shadowhounds.
Oh, you know why?
And they are.
Because Shadow Brothers.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's what I keep thinking.
Shadow Brothers.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think you like Perrin more than you think that you do.
I know, the word is in my head. Once I think in my brain it's called something.
That's what it is forever.
That's what it is forever. Algamir. Is that?
No, that's not right.
Egelmar. Right? See?
And Gleb.
I still don't know which one is right.
It's not that one.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he gateways back to his own room.
Yeah.
And then he opens up his little hidey hole that he's made in the wall.
Yeah, because he's like back in his room. But we didn't talk about it.
Oh.
What do you think the mission was with the Asmodean thing?
Oh.
Did the Darkhounds actually get foiled, or were they just there to observe and report?
So my initial reaction,
yeah,
I think that they were foiled.
Okay.
I don't think they can cross.
Okay, so it like stopped them from going in and attacking Asmodean.
Yes.
Okay.
So the other thing that I've started to think about is it matters who sent them.
Yes. Ooh, now you're getting into it.
Because if it's somebody who was in the meeting with Lanfear, who's like spread the word that Asmodean has turned, you know, if they're there, they're looking to see if Asmodean is here, if he really is doing what Lanfear said he's doing, that sort of thing.
That makes sense to observe and report back and be like,
It makes more sense to me, actually, that if they all believe Lanfear, that he's turned, that they've sent the Shadowhounds to go kill him too.
Okay.
So
why couldn't it be both? Observe it and also, if you can, try and kill him.
Yeah, I think that it's more that. I actually think that no matter who it is, it's somebody who's against Rand, who's heard the news, because why else would they go check out Asmodean? Right? And I think that the
Well, I mean, that's kind of important.
Them.
We don't know who else would know that Asmodean is now on Rand's side, in quotations or whatever.
Yeah, because we're about to get into how Lanfear shows up and says it's Ravine who sent them.
Yeah.
But my initial thought was Samael, because we thought Samael was the one who sent them in the first place, hunting Perrin.
Well, he did, but Moiraine blasted those guys, so we don't know if Samael would have like another set of Darkhounds. Like, we don't know how you recruit or get Darkhounds, but I like this Samael train. I do. I'm just saying. I'm throwing out hypotheticals here. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get back to Rand's hidey hole, because this is a big thing.
This is where he's keeping his Academy Awards.
Yeah.
These are his Oscars. His 2 figurines, so it's confirmed he didn't destroy them. Hallelujah.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, it was kind of like he did obviously, like, there were hints beforehand.
Oh, for sure, but I'm glad that it's confirmed.
Yeah.
So we get a bunch of recap in case you forgot what Angriel and all that is.
Yeah.
And then Rand reveals that he does know the function of these.
Yes. So these are technically, so the statues are Angriel.
Okay.
And the figures, are essentially the link to the big Sa'angreal. So the big, gigantic versions of the statues, there's one in Tremoncian, in Cairhien, and one in Tremalking, for the ladies. And those are the actual Sa'angreal, and these little Angriel, smaller versions, are basically they link you.
They're like a key, right? That's what we talked about last time?
They're a key that links you wherever you are in the world to that Sa'angreal.
Okay, and Rand notes that he knows what they are and where the other guys are and everything. Yeah. And then he thinks, how did I know that? But I was confused because he was wrestling around with it and used it, and I thought, well, that's how you know it.
Well, no, what he says is that he knows that they had only been finished after the Dark One's prison was resealed.
Okay,
and
that's
they were hidden
before any
LTT. Of the
Got it. Okay.
Before anyone could go mad and find them.
Okay.
So.
And then something I'd like to completely skip over, if you're cool with.
The Zombie Girl flashback events. Yeah, we can do that.
Can we? I thought you were going to tell me no. We have to do everything. We have to talk about everything.
He thinks about it, but that's the whole issue about the whole Kalendor making him have those crazy thoughts about I can do anything.
Yeah.
But with these, he can really do anything.
Really do anything.
So.
And, I just wrote in my notes, like, thanks, RJ, because not only is it like a brief description of, Rand once thought something, it's the entire passage.
Yeah.
Several paragraphs in italics back to, was that the beginning of the Shadow Rising?
No. I always get them mixed up if that was Shadow Rising or... Yeah, it was Shadow Rising.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we get that entire passage that is so disturbing. I just went, great. Thank you for making me read this again.
Do you ever include a quote in like an essay just to make the paper a little bit longer?
Yeah. No, my problem in my papers lately is they're always way too long, and I always have to go and try and... I just like...
It means more when it's like when you're older, though, I feel, for school.
I know. It's completely different, but I get what you're talking about. So Rand shoves aside those thoughts and puts the figurines back and then resets the traps surrounding them. And there's Lanfear. And I went, okay.
Ah, she's here. Oh my god.
There
Okay.
it is. There it is. Okay. So he thinks about how he can't kill her, how he killed a woman once and he doesn't really want to do that again.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, the lopped off head. We talked about that last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's seen what Rand is doing, and she definitely saw that he has 2 figurines, and that one was a woman.
Heyo.
And she asked Rand if he's finally considering her plan of making the other chosen kneel,
Yeah.
beating the Great Lord, and then challenging the Creator.
I mean, it's a good plan. It's a
I
good
didn't
plan.
know the challenge the Creator part of it.
Oh yeah, that was part of it.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like beat the Great
That was
Lord.
like in the OG plan. She's like, we could even challenge the Creator with these.
Don't do that.
Well, I mean,
I'm
if you
for
got
all the
super
other
powerful
stuff.
statues.
I'm for this is how the,
So this is important though. How powerful do you actually think these Sa'angreal are?
very
Because
powerful.
we kind of just got the hint that these Sa'angreal were like finished, finalized. We don't really know, but it was
No.
like after everything happened.
Yeah, but I don't think that matters as much as who is channeling through them.
So like
So we
how
got
much
Lanfear,
power?
we got
Yeah.
Rand, who are so super powerful.
So it's like with these super powerful
That's why
Sa'angreal.
my prediction was it's going to be like Nynaeve and Rand.
Okay,
Because
right.
Nynaeve is like so crazy powerful. She like challenged Moghedien.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, do you
untrained.
hypothetically, because Lanfear seems to be talking literally about challenging the Creator.
I know, I don't get it. Let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything for you there.
I mean, she's ambitious, right?
All right, but we got more important things to talk about
We
here.
do. Okay.
She is ambitious because then Rand answers,
Yes.
"You were always ambitious, Moiraine. Why do you think I turned away from you? It wasn't Ilyena, whatever you like to think. You were out of my heart long before I ever met her. Ambition is all there is to you. Power is all you ever wanted. You disgust me."
Okay.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Okay, go.
As well as Lutheran.
But like how and why and like what?
Yep.
And also recalling back to when Matt was like, lose Theron, and then Rand turns around.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, what's happening?
Well, we've talked about this like 80 times, I feel like.
I
Do we
feel
have to
like-
talk about it every single time?
We have to because I need you to be more clear on what you
I
think is
don't
happening.
I don't have any clarity. This is the same thing I always think. Loose Theron's in his head, taking over shit.
Okay.
This is a Venom situation, I told you.
Okay, like taking the reins.
Well, he's clearly saying this not of his own volition. It's not like he's thinking this and going, oh, how did I think that? Like the other things.
Yeah.
Those are just sort of like thoughts that he has. Maybe memories, maybe not. But this is like a memory and then he speaks without thinking of his own volition.
Yeah.
Like this is like Loose Theron
It's
in
an
his head
escalation of
somehow.
events.
I think that there's gonna be some kind of battle between the two of them at some point for like who's gonna win.
Nice. Okay.
You know, who's gonna... Is it gonna be Rand? Is it gonna be both of them?
Okay.
Is it gonna be just LTT?
That reminds me of like the whole Reflections chapter that we got at the beginning of TSR,
Okay.
where he like battles himself and it's like, ooh, which one's the real Rand?
Right.
So,
Okay.
just when you said that.
Okay. Sure. I don't know, though.
Okay.
It's a mystery.
Okay. It's a mystery for now.
Okay, so Lanfear's definitely taken back by this. She mentions this is what Grendel said, or something like that.
Yeah, because Grendel was like, we don't really know what being the Dragon Reborn means, because Lanfear pivots, like it does a double pivot in this chapter,
Yeah.
where she's
she
like,
does.
oh my god, is this LTT? And then she's like, I love you.
Yeah.
Don't you remember? I love you and I always will
I've
love
always
you.
loved you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Rand snaps out of it, out of whatever's happening here.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, I'm Rand al'Thor. And she's like, I know.
She pivots back.
Oh, that must just be Asmodean telling you things about me before.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. He's mean to his mom.
Yeah, he severed / stilled his own mother and let the phase drag her off, so...
What a dick.
Yeah, don't trust what he says.
Yeah.
But so it's
I
like
think
a
that
weird...
she's confused about what's happening too.
She clearly doesn't know, and she, for a second, it seems, thought that it was like actually LTT coming
which it
through.
clearly was.
And then she's like, oh my god, don't you remember me?
I love you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like flips back, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now we get the real reason why Lanfear is here. She tells Rand that Ravine sent the Dark Ones after him tonight, and she would have come sooner, but again, she doesn't want people to know that she's on his side.
Yes. Okay.
So I feel like she'd be pissed off, like more pissed off, because she told Ravine and that group to stay away from Rand.
So part of the plan wasn't to go send darkhounds after...
No, and Ravine seems to have a lot going on.
He does.
And what Rand is doing in Ruidian right now, I don't think would really concern Ravine very much.
Yeah, but Lanfear explains that. She says it's not the stuff you're doing here, it's the fact that you're sending the Terran soldiers from Tyr, you're sending them into Cairhien, and we know that Ravine is trying to get Morgase on the Cairhien throne, so Ravine is pissed off that Rand is also moving his troops into Cairhien, where he's competing, so Ravine is like, oh, I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah, I just don't know if Ravine would go against Lanfear like this.
That's what we don't know Ravine enough.
Yeah.
So.
My gut was Samuel. Like, he was the one using the...
Well, sometimes you gotta trust your gut.
Darkhounds from the beginning.
Okay.
Well, at least that's what we were led to believe.
We are also led to believe that.
Because we haven't even heard from that guy at all.
Yeah.
Ah.
He's hanging out in Alien.
Oh my god.
Maybe he's an alien. We haven't seen him there.
Or maybe it's like literally someone else.
Yeah.
And...
So here's a question. Do you think that some Forsaken would disguise their attacks as a different Forsaken? So that if Rand picks up, then...
No, I think what's going to happen is Lanfear is going to realize what happened. And it might be Samuel or... Let me see if I have other names.
Sure.
Demandred.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
Who also hates
Also hates him, yep.
Someone else.
Semirog, yeah.
I doubt that.
That's a lady.
I don't think that. I don't know why. But it could be someone else outside of the Forsaken surprise party where Lanfear said, hey, don't, whatever.
Sure.
And then she's like, oh shit, this happened. She comes in and is like, oh, Rand, this is Ravine who's moving into Cairhien and I know you wanted Cairhien. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's like her, like she's obviously got tons of plans.
That's true. The only thing that it probably we could speculate on is that if it is one of the other three of that foursome, is because who else knows that Asmodean has flipped over to Rand's side and the Darkhounds were targeted attacks.
Well, I think that Lanfear might have also been talking to others.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Well, yeah, because she was like, oh, I'm going to tell everybody.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, it's like we just don't get to see.
These ones she's like tighter with, maybe.
But is it like a fake alliance? This is a Big Brother situation where it's like, yeah, I've created this alliance, but there's another alliance.
You're my real final two.
And I tell everybody that you're my real final two.
And I'm going to go talk bad about you to them, but then I'm going to come tell you what they said about you.
Exactly.
See, Lanfear's good at Big Brother.
She would totally maybe win.
Yeah.
She'd come in second.
To Rand?
Well.
No, Rand's getting voted out. Okay. Anyway, so... all this stuff about Rand butting into Ravine's plans since he's an Andor and he has Morgase under his thumb. And Rand thinks, oh, I have to hold my tongue here to make sure that Lanfear isn't jealous because I'm thinking about Elaine.
Yeah.
Right? So
Lanfear doesn't get jelly and go off and murder Elaine.
And so Rand brings up the point about not rushing to the defense of Morgase just because it's an Andor. Does he think I care?
Yeah, I'm from Two Rivers.
And she's like, I don't think that's it. I think you're just ruining shit in Cairhien for him.
So it kind of makes sense.
It sounds truthful. And I don't know what Lanfear's motives are to be lying to Rand right now.
At this point, it does seem like Lanfear seriously wants Rand to flip over. And she just got to see him have the two Ter'angreal to the Sa'angreal, and it's like now in her mind those aren't destroyed anymore. She has access to that somehow. So is she coming after that, or is she still trying to win him over?
Yeah, I don't know. So then they sort of get finished talking about that. Lanfear wants to talk about dreams now because Rand is warding his dreams from her and she doesn't like it. And he's like, from everyone, not just you. I don't know how to set wards specifically for people.
Yeah, but she wants to get in his dreams.
Yeah, so she does some poking and prodding on a few topics.
Yeah, it's a lot of talking.
Yeah, he can't break through his wards, so she's checking on the wise ones.
Yeah.
And Egwene's dreams.
Yeah.
And the fact that Egwene is dreaming about Galad and Gawain a lot is really testing Rand's jealousy.
Well, that Rand thinks that she's trying to test his jealousy.
Because Sheevan's like, oh, I thought you liked her.
Yeah, I can't imagine the things that she's dreaming of with this Gawain and Galad situation. So, and that's important because of what happens in the next chapter too.
Well, and I also wonder how much of Egwene's dreams are actually her own. with the whole, like, she's always doing tell around Rand.
She's flipping around, so...
Yeah.
But this is the whole Lanfear's trying to test Rand's jealousy thing, and Rand kind of catches on to that.
Yeah, so he hits back about Asandre.
Yeah, like, Rand is sort of catching on that Lanfear's trying to make him jealous, so he tries to, like, make her jealous by bringing up Asandre's name because of who she is, but then Rand basically just gets super confused.
Confuses himself, and he's just
He's
trying
like,
his best.
wait, is she jealous of Asandre, but she's a dark fairy? Like, I don't understand what's going on, because it's Rand trying to manipulate women, and it doesn't work very well.
Right, alright. So then there's a knock at the door, and it cuts the conversation off.
Time to
Lanfear
go.
makes a gateway.
Which is traveling, because we actually see stuff on the other side.
Where she's going to. And she tells Rand some stuff about how she's his only hope.
Yeah.
And then
Same
she
stuff
leaves.
we've always heard.
All of it.
Yeah.
And then Rand opens a door to one of the maidens, who tells him that the maidens have all been searching everywhere for him, and the clan chiefs are here to speak with Rand right now.
Yeah, because Rand basically flitted around Ruidian back and forth zip-zap.
Yeah, which I found interesting while I was reading it, by the way. But
yeah.
Because he didn't want people to know where he was or where he's going or what he was doing.
Hey, it's good powers to have. So.
I mean, it's cool. So Rand goes to meet with the chiefs, and Han says the Shido are moving. And basically every clan is moving now towards the Jengai Pass. Nobody is quite sure who's on whose side. The clans that are with Rand right now don't want to get caught in a bad position, but Rand's like, we're going to move in right behind and chase down Couladin.
Yeah, so basically now it looks like if you look at the map, the Jengai Pass is the pass that gets you over the Dragon Wall into, like, back and forth between the Isle Waste and Kyrian. So Couladin is making a rush for the Jengai Pass. There's a couple of clans that are following him, and Rand and the ones who are kind of with him tight don't know if they're going, like, chasing after Couladin for a good reason or a bad reason, so they don't want to get spread out and get, like, ambushed. So all the Aiel are now shifting and moving into Randland.
Right, and very few of them are legit following Rand, and the ones who are following Rand don't like this.
It's
and
gonna
Rand's
be...
like, we gotta go!
We gotta go. So Rand's entire plan of, like, bringing the 11 clans over...
It's not gonna work. And this is why I was so...
It's not gonna work the way he wants it. It seems like everybody's moving over.
And that's like the whole, oh, you have to wait a whole month to go to the boss meeting.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we're leaving now. So it's like, your plans are all well and good. And this is what I wanted to scream at Moiraine when she was all pissed off about his plan and how it's a bad plan. And I wanted to be like, Moiraine, so much has to fall into place before any of that happens. And we know none of that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, like, just chill out and wait.
So, we got some stuff to look forward to because it's like all the clans, or most of them, are headed over.
Right, okay. And then we're going to get into Chapter 7, because that's the end of Chapter 6. Now, Chapter 7 is very short, and...
It's an interesting one.
If Chapter 6 was information heavy, this one was the opposite of that.
Yeah, we get to see what Egwene is up to, but
all
also...
it did was make me annoyed with Egwene.
Fair. We get to see what everybody's doing from her perspective, and it's a very...
Her perspective sucks. So...
Oh, you went there, okay.
I love Egwene, but this chapter in particular irked me.
Why?
She's just so irritating.
Okay. Her actions, her perception of things...
Her perception of things is, I think, irritating.
Okay.
It's obnoxious. I don't know. She irritates me.
Can I try and make a bad analogy?
Okay.
It's kind of like, she's a really, really ambitious, intelligent person, but then she joined like a super prestigious school of the wise ones, and then she thinks she's way better than everybody and starts judging everyone that she grew up with.
Yeah. Although she's always judged everybody, but now it's like another level of judgment.
It's not so good.
Yeah, it's really judgmental.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's why it's so irritating. Okay, so it's called a departure, and our chapter symbol is the dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in our Egwene perspective. We're getting ready to go. Egwene is getting on her horse. Most importantly, though, Egwene did manage to find Amice's dream last night.
Yeah.
And Amice and Egwene are happy about that. Plus, Egwene did some sneaky sneakerson business.
Yeah.
And went to look at a bunch of other people's dreams too.
Yes, and that's kind of what the entire mission was that the Wise Ones gave her, was learn how to flip through the dream, find people's dreams and then
don't
observe.
Enter them. Yeah.
Yeah, don't enter because that's bad news bears, but just observe.
Yes.
And she's getting successful at this.
Yeah, and she was doing that.
Yeah.
And she tried to get into Rand's dreams, or at least look into them.
Yeah.
And couldn't. And she is so determined. She wants to keep trying until she gets it.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because we get the hints that from Moiraine, she's dreaming of babies because we had that thing last chapter.
She's gonna propose.
Yeah. And then with Bear, she's dreaming of one of her dead husbands.
Aw.
Yeah. And then for Rand, it's like running into an invisible stone wall, but we know that Rand is shielding his dreams.
With his power.
Yeah. So it's like Egwene probably won't be able to do that.
Right. So everyone is in packing mode. The Gaishain are prepping things, and the regular Aiel are also prepping things. We get that not everyone is going, but thousands are.
Yeah, so that is important to note. Like, not everybody from the Waste, like, not all the Aiel are heading out.
Right.
It's just a lot of them. So.
Okay. Plus, we get Kadir's wagons look ready to go.
Yeah, and every person that she, observes, we find out that she tried to spy on, literally everybody's dreams.
You know, when she does something...
Talk about invasion of privacy.
She goes big.
Yeah.
She doesn't just stop.
Yeah.
At, looking at a couple.
Yeah. She hits everybody. But
and I do like that. I like that about Egwene.
I do, but I hate the concept of, spying on someone's dreams as if that's, a true reflection of who that person is.
Yeah.
It's like your dreams are crazy sometimes for no reason because...
Well, it's like your subconscious, but that's the thing.
Well, and not even. It's just like your brain's a big electrical jelly.
No, not in this series, though.
Well,
in this series, dreaming is very important, and what you dream about seems to be very important.
True.
Whether you're Ta'veren or power or whatever or not, dreaming is very important.
Sure, because I can agree with that.
Egwene goes into Ruark's dream accidentally, and then she's how he perceives her.
Yeah, just like a little child.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a daughter.
And so I think that it's more than if just in our world somebody looks at our dreams.
Has a crazy dream, but it's just it's very invasive.
It is. Oh, for sure. Oh, 100%. Especially because they have no idea.
Yeah.
So Egwene also sees Isandre packing stuff up in a black robe and not naked anymore.
Okay, phew, but not because heat stroke.
Oh my god. So Egwene has already tried to get involved in this.
Multiple times, it sounds
Oh, and Avienda has sort of nicely told her to stay out of it. And then we get that Adeline and someone else has told her really rudely to stay out of it.
Yeah.
And then we get somebody else threatening her about it.
Sulin.
And I was just like, God, Egwene, mind your business.
Yeah.
Mind your freaking business. This has nothing to do with you. Avienda told you this has nothing to do with you. Don't worry about it. Stop interfering. And then you continue to do it.
Yeah.
That's ambition to another level. That's just rude.
Yeah. Can we talk about Kadir's dreams and then Isandre's dreams?
Fine.
So Kadir's dreams were dark and unpleasant.
Okay.
Makes sense because he's a dark friend. But Isandre's dreams, it seems to Egwene that someone was torturing her and then chasing her around and laughing. And it's we already know from last chapter and previous that Lanfear friggin' hates Isandre.
Yeah. So
the person chasing Isandre in her dreams is probably Lanfear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving on, now Egwene sees Rand, and he's got a big old dragon belt on, and she thinks, oh, he's starting to think himself such a big deal.
Yeah, so apparently Avienda didn't tell Egwene anything about this.
Oh, for sure not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll get into everything that Avienda isn't actually telling Egwene.
Yeah, which is everything. She doesn't tell her anything.
Yeah, and she also notes that Jason Natil is right on his heels.
Yeah.
So, we get a lot of description of what everyone is wearing.
Whole lot.
And then Egwene overhears Rand talking about having the Ogier steading notified so that the Ogier can come and help build Ruidian.
Yeah, and rebuild the destruction. So, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, get him in here.
Sure.
They built Tarvalon. They should be able to make this pretty too.
Purpose right now. Like, they're not leaving their settings. Like, they left a bunch of other cities because of, like, politics and other stuff.
Budgetary constraints.
Sure. Is Rand gonna pay him?
Well, we'll see.
With what?
Well, Rand might, but, the Aiel have money. They're not poor.
Okay. True. Okay.
And we do know that Yael and Ogier have, a good relationship.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So, Egwene notes that Matt is here, and she avoided his dreams last night.
Yeah, okay. Hypocritical.
Yeah. And she sees a, quote, much too old for him, Aiel woman.
Yeah.
And knows what Matt was probably dreaming about last night.
Okay, 2 things. Number 1, I bet Matt wasn't dreaming very much because he wasn't sleeping last night.
Mm-hmm.
Heyo. Okay, number 2, Egwene, if what Lanfear said is true, then she was having some not so pure dreams either.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, the hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's like, come on, why are we judging Matt and not even trying to take a peek at his dreams?
Yeah.
Rude.
Because Egwene is rude.
Rude.
Yeah, rude and judgmental. You got it. So, not always. I know there's going to be some Egwene lovers coming at us for all the hate. But, if I can't hate everyone equally, at some points, everyone's going to annoy me, and that's okay.
Everyone's going to get some hate at some point, and right now it's Egwene's turn.
Yeah. So, Matt tells Egwene about why Moiraine is standing off to the side quietly, and it's because Rand told her to, and she's listening.
Yeah, so I guess good for Moiraine for keeping to her word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how she's going to earn Rand's trust.
Yes.
This is the way.
You got to bend a little bit for him to trust you that he takes your advice if that's what you really want.
Right. And Egwene doesn't understand any of this.
Yeah.
But Matt thinks it's really funny.
Yeah.
Plus, Egwene does not like not understanding things, and she's determined to figure this one out.
This'll go well.
And I just say, good luck, girl.
Are you going to ask Moiraine? Are you going to ask Rand?
I don't know.
What's the plan here?
She's going to spawn everybody's dreams up in here.
Yeah.
Everybody's dreams up in here, she's going to find the answers to. So,
hide your dreams.
Yeah, exactly. So, Egwene sees Aviendha staring hard at Rand with absolutely no expression, but she's turning the ivory bracelet on her wrist over and over, and Egwene knows that this has to do with something, but this is something she also doesn't understand. And Aviendha isn't saying anything.
Yeah, so although we did kind of see that connection between Egwene and Aviendha when they were running laps, clearly that it has a ending point.
Well, I think that Aviendha hasn't admitted anything to herself.
Ooh, fair. Okay.
So she doesn't have anything to admit to Egwene yet.
So we're really going hard on this whole Aviendha actually has feelings about Rand.
Yeah, I don't love it, but I think that's what's happening.
We're on this bus?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on the bus.
Yep.
Plus, Egwene was the one who gave Aviendha that necklace.
Yes, that's true.
So nothing to be jelly over Rand. Although maybe, I don't know.
Who knows?
Probably not. So Egwene asks Aviendha if she's alright, and they have a discussion about Rand, and Egwene still doesn't get the Aiel culture because she thinks that Aviendha is upset about having to sleep in Rand's room.
And that's not it. We've been over that already.
Yeah. And Egwene tells her that she doesn't have to be afraid of Rand. And then we find out that Egwene was spying on Aviendha's dreams too.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch here. I think Aviendha's dream is it's an interesting take on it.
Yeah.
And if you're on the whole attraction bus,
yeah,
do you think that it lines up with that?
Yes.
You do?
100%.
Okay.
So it's giant Rand chasing Aviendha, but Aviendha is naked except for the ivory bracelet, which seems to be slowing her down.
Yes.
And, weighing her down.
Yeah, big giant Rand slowly catching up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how Aviendha views this because she doesn't want to be attracted to Rand.
Okay.
She doesn't want to have these feelings for Rand, and she does, so she's trying to escape her feelings for Rand, but Rand keeps following her around.
Right.
And she keeps on being forced to spend all this time with him.
And at some point he's going to teach her how to swim.
Right. Their dreams need to collide.
Is that a thing that can happen?
I don't know. Yeah. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Rand though, because someone asked Rand if he means to leave the Threefold Land forever, because that's kind of what it sounds like.
That's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. He's prepping to leave.
Yeah, and Rand responds that he hopes to return, but who can say? The wheel weaves as the wheel wills.
Hey-o.
Hey.
Yeah.
So, he says that he'll leave something to remember him by, and he reaches into his pocket.
No, reaches into his pocket.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Just gotta make sure we see that every time.
Angriel.
Yeah.
And in a few moments, all the fountains in Ruidian start flowing again.
Yeah. So it's really funny.
He says, I should have done that a while ago.
I love the difference between what he does in Ruidian and what he did in Tyr. Because at both points, he said, I'm going to leave you something to remember me by.
Yes,
And with the Terrans, it's like sword in the stone, boom, I'm coming back.
I rule you.
Yeah,
Don't
I really, and I might
me.
come back and chop off some heads. And here it's like, here's a gift that is more powerful than like literally anything the Aiel have ever seen.
Yes.
It's like free-flowing water in this big, gigantic city.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and now next to a place that has a big lake. So
yeah,
like, it's all.
It's like it's a contrast of like ruling by fear, versus ruling out of like, you know.
I want them to be scared of how much they love me.
Yeah, it's a love. Yeah, do you want them to love me or fear me?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now it's time to march, and Egwene thinks about wanting to help Avienda somehow.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's gonna go well because she doesn't even know
what the problem is.
So that's, it's a nice thought. She's very caring. Like,
she's
almost
well-meaning.
To a fault.
She's well-meaning, but it's like bad execution.
Yeah. Yeah. And I admire her wanting to find out things that she doesn't understand. That makes sense to me. It was just very irritating.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And I'm happy to have a perspective change to Moiraine. And we find out some good stuff here too.
Yeah.
So, Moiraine hangs behind a little bit. She doesn't immediately fall around. She looks at all the things that she's like loaded onto Kadir's wagons.
Yeah.
She wishes she could have taken everything.
Now,
but she couldn't.
With this whole Kadir's wagon things, are we on the Moiraine knows bus or not that he's like a bad guy? She notes that he's like afraid of her, sorry.
Yeah.
But like, is that just like a typical, be afraid of Aes Sedai thing?
I think that she needs to take what Rand said into consideration.
Yeah.
But I think that she already knew that.
It's a bunch of like really important power objects.
It is crazy important. Even if Kadir isn't a Darkbrand and he's just like a regular peddler, still don't trust him.
Yeah.
Right?
He's going to make up. Don't trust the salespeople.
Right.
They'll take your stuff and leave with it.
Right. So, I don't know.
As a salesperson, I can vouch that is true.
Yeah, I know. So, all of this is going to Tarvalin, but there's Aiel escorts, right? Like, they're Aiel guards?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe it'll make it there.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, the wagons are also going with them for a while.
For a while.
A while. Like, if you look at where Tarvalin and Kyrian, it's like a very short distance.
Okay. All right. So, she even thinks about the redstone door frame, and she thinks about how she wants to bring the silver rings to the tower, but she can't.
Yeah, and we kind of get more information on that than what we knew. Mm-hmm. How very similar and how not similar they are.
Right.
To the ones in Tarvalin.
Right.
So, the ones in Tarvalin, from what we know, it's the 3 rings that the edges are touching.
Yeah.
So, essentially, whichever direction you enter from, you're stepping into the center.
Yes.
And then you get, like, a different vision for each. But with these ones, it's the 3 rings that are touching in the middle. Yeah. So, they're like a 3 little sticking out, essentially, is what's happening.
Yes.
And then you go through them, and then you get to see and experience your life again and again. Your future is spread out before you. All possible futures based on every decision you might ever make. And she kind of notes it's impossible for your mind to retain all that information, but you get a general sense of what your life is going to look like. And then you'll remember some events and some things and what should happen. So it kind of gives you like a go. It reminds me of the flicker scene.
I was just about to say that. You stole my line.
Okay, well, perfect.
This is like, it doesn't just remind me of it. It's like literally exactly the same as this.
Awesome. Okay. I hope you say that.
Yeah, but you stole it.
Well, there you go. That's what happens when you let me talk.
You just go on and on and on.
But that's important. That's good.
Yeah, because we also get some information about the women Aiel testing in Meridian. So the second test is the glass columns. So
and they
get
see
confirmation about that.
And they see the exact same thing that the men see.
Right. And so we do get that more women survive. and the ones who survive aren't marked.
Yes, and we got a little tidbit from Rourke way back in the day where he was like, oh, we don't know if women are marked, but if they are, they don't say anything.
Right.
So it seems like the wise ones know
not
that
a butt tattoo.
the men know that the
Yes.
women know that the men are marked, but not vice versa.
Right. So. Okay. So we also find out here that for sure Moiraine went through these rings.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, I knew that. Like, I didn't think that was something up for debate.
Yeah, we just didn't know what that looked like, but now it's essentially a flicker sequence.
Right. Which makes sense as to why Aviendha is so angry with Rand, because obviously Rand is a part of her future and she's angry about it.
Okay, yeah.
That just like confirms everything for me.
Some way, somehow.
Definitely. So Lan speaks up as Moiraine is lost in thought.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like seeing her like this.
She's never been like this before.
So he tells her so.
And that we don't see very often.
No.
Yeah.
So he hasn't seen her worried or afraid, not even at the worst of times. And Lan asks her, is the end coming?
Yeah. Well, that's a loaded question.
Yeah. And Moiraine's like, do you mean Tarmin Gaiden? Because, like,
probably
at some point that's coming.
It's like, we got the Dragon Reborn over here. Like, probably it's coming.
Yeah, duh, Lan.
But.
And so Lan is like, well, you're becoming impatient. And that shows because of the oath you swore to Rand.
Yeah, what was that all about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Moiraine tells him that it's because Rand is drawing further and further away from her, and she will do whatever it takes, short of sleeping with him.
Yeah, we got to discuss that.
To see that he takes her guidance.
Okay.
Because apparently,
yeah,
she saw different futures in which she did sleep with Rand to manipulate him.
And it didn't go well.
Doesn't go well. Every time she sees it, it's not great. Okay,
so a couple things we got to think about. Flicker sequence doesn't mean that that's a possibility that will happen. It means it's something that could happen.
Multiple lives. It's like multiple universes.
Think back to like Rand's perspective of like all the lives he lived, of like growing up with Egwene and everything like that.
Oh, it's all the possibilities.
It's all the possibilities
of like
what could.
But I thought that's what this is too.
But that's what I'm saying. So even though it's like, oh my God, Moiraine, don't sleep with Rand. It's kind of an interesting thing to consider that.
It's a possible
future that if things got so desperate for Moiraine, she might consider like, hey, maybe that's a way to manipulate him.
And he does think of her as quite attractive.
Yeah, and guess who wouldn't like that very much?
Is it Lan? Oh, no, who?
Close. It's Lanfear.
Oh, Lanfear. Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone...
It's
just like, who would not like Moiraine sleeping with Rand?
Yeah, but Rand... can't sleep with anyone as far as Lanfear is concerned.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's gonna sleep with other people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Lanfear probably wouldn't like that very much. So when she's like, oh, that's not gonna go well, it's like, why?
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with... I mean, like, it might have something, but, like, mostly because that's not a great way to manipulate anybody. I told you. Read the book. That's sleeping with somebody
it's not on the list?
Not in the book.
Shoot, okay.
Yeah. I've actually never read that book. Have you read it?
No.
Oh. It's on my to be read in like 5 years from now.
Yeah, at some point I'll have friends. I don't know.
Maybe. Okay, I just assumed.
I'm listing off like my two.
Okay.
Okay, anyways. No time for that now.
Right. So, we get some Moiraine thoughts about how Lan has changed over the years. They've been Aes Sedai and Warder for nearly 20 years now. And then we get a recap on Maureen's view.
Yeah.
Her viewpoint of Lan's personal battle, like his love for Nynaeve.
Yeah, well, it's like his battle in the Blight and who Lan is, if you've forgotten, why Nynaeve and Lan love each other but can't be together. It's a whole bunch of recap.
He always said he didn't have a heart, but then now he's like found his heart.
Yeah.
And like given it to someone. It's
cute.
A whole
well,
thing.
He gave her the ring and everything like that. It's a bunch of recap.
And like Moiraine knows about it.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, obviously they know. They still talk.
Yeah.
They're still like Aes Sedai and Warder. Like, they're still a unit.
I wonder if Moiraine knows about the Julian Sandar thing.
Ooh.
Because she didn't know where Lan was in the tier meeting.
Yep.
Right? She's like, where is that guy?
Yep, that's true.
I wonder if she found out.
That's a good question.
Okay. Because she knew that she sent Tom, but interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So... Moiraine thinks about how everything and everyone is changing, And now it's time to leave Ruidian.
Yeah, like, we didn't get a whole lot for Moiraine in this, but we get a little bit of...
enough.
We get an explanation of why she's doing what she's doing. Why
and, like,
she bent the knee.
I know why. So, like, I figured it out.
It's nice that Moiraine finally got to that point, and it wasn't, like, 7 books away.
Right.
Where it could be a long drawn out battle, but she's finally like, okay, if I'm going to get Rand to be on my side, I got to concede some points here.
Cool.
So good for her.
All right. I'm excited to read on.
Yeah, this was definitely a setup.
Yes.
I mean, some action.
Well, no, this chapter a little bit, but I love all the information we got.
Yeah.
And the information was wrapped in exciting stuff. Like,
yeah.
That's what I like. This is great.
I mean, this chapter is set up for the Aiel leaving the Waste, because that's what, like, everyone's doing a rush to the Jengai Pass. I know
we have quite a ride ahead of us, though.
Yeah.
Because from Ruidian to get to Cold Rock's Hold, which I don't even know which direction it is. Yeah. I don't know where Ruidian... Like, we don't have any maps.
But again, we're not going to Cold Rock's Hold. We're going to the pass.
Which might be closer?
Could be. It's like right over there.
Maybe.
It's like right over there.
It's probably like
real
at
close.
Least a 3-week ride.
3 weeks?
At
least.
Oh,
man. Okay.
Because on the way to Cold Rock's Hold, that's where we ran into Kadir, and they were like, whoa, you were going to run into Ruidian.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously they were coming from the spine of the world, no?
Of course, obviously.
I mean, like...
But, I mean, their whole journey is questionable now.
No,
because
their
we know
entire journey is super questionable.
Yeah.
But Ruark would be like, where the fuck are you coming from? If they weren't coming from the spine of the world, there would have been way more questions.
Sure, yeah, okay. Okay. Guess you're going to have to read and find out.
Ah!
That's how they get you.
All right, fine. So, before you breach all your friends' privacies by spying on all their dreams...
No.
I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
That's all for now, but until next time, thank you so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Danny and Brett, edited by Danny, produced by Danny and Brett with Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Feltz, Giannis, and Megan Smiley, with music by Audionautics.com. If you're interested in supporting us and helping us to make really great content, you can head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. And you'll also get access to some really great bonus content like early access to our regular episodes, bonus episodes, unedited video episodes, access to our live recordings, monthly Q&As, and more like stickers and keychains. Don't forget to find us on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at The Wheel Weaves Podcast. We'd also love for you to join the conversation over at our Discord, and you can find the link to that in our bios on those social medias. We'd love for you to tell a friend about us. Referrals really are the best compliment. We'd love for you to leave a review and subscribe. That really does make a huge difference. Thanks so much again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.